Hello, Matt. Hello, dear friends of Project Haiti. I'm taking a few minutes to express my regret that having tried twice to organize travel, unfortunately, it's not possible to arrive there by the 29th. So many different problems confronting us. Matt asked me if I could give an update of what our circumstances here, which I'm very glad to do. Uh, I hesitate to say everything that's going wrong because I certainly don't want to give any kind of impression that we're in a hopeless cause. As a physician, we understand there's clinic and there's emergency room and there's intensive care, and we know why we have all those levels and the skills needed at each level. As a priest, I know that where there are problems, there is grace, and where problems are extreme, there is grace in abundance. So I want to say that at the outset, that our problems are opportunities, and to see what is empty, missing, lacking, lost, for me is to see what can be refilled, what can be replaced, what can be rebuilt, and what can be improved. This is our task in life. So the bandits have expanded control of the country since last September when the fundraiser took place. I think you might know we had 10 staff kidnapped from our orphanage in Kenskoff, and it was a nightmare for over 3 weeks. But nobody was hurt, and we finally got them freed. But we have abandoned the mountain now. We can't be there. And we're worried about losing that property to being taken over by bandits or being destroyed. So that's a huge change. From 1987 to last August, we had a population of anywhere between 300 and 500 vulnerable children there at any given time. And it all came crashing to a halt in August, a few months ago, and now all those children are here in Tabar. 200 orphan children and 70 disabled children, they're right here in Tabar, which was the reason for my first delay of my first travel when the hurricane was just over the mountains to the south of Jacmel. We were afraid. So the reason for my first delay when I was going to leave Haiti October 23rd to travel to Boise was because the tropical storm Melissa, which has now become a Category 5 hurricane, was just over the mountains and to the south of Jacmel. And if that hurricane, and in its wide arc of winds and rains, dropped a ton of water on the mountains above us, then here in Kenskoff, we would have had, here in Tabar, we would have had enormous flooding. And since we were driven out of Kenskoff in August, we have all those children down here, and we would have been scrambling to get them up on roofs, even of the Academy for Peace and Justice, our high school, but we would have had a lot of fast footwork to do in order to keep them safe. As the few days passed and the storm went more towards the level of Jeremy, at the moment now it's in fact blocking Port-au-Prince, Haiti altogether from Miami because there are ferocious winds all along the gap between our two countries. So this morning, I was supposed to try to fly again, but it became quite difficult because I was on standby to try to get to Cape Haitian with no guarantee I would even get out of Cape Haitian. But if I did get to Cape Haitian, I would be stranded from Port-au-Prince with no way back. So that's one of the main reasons this really super storm, this mega storm called Melissa. But another reason is we have been once again asked to help in 3 different cases of kidnapping. One has to do with 2 adolescent girls. They're sisters. One is 13 and one is 14. And we're asked to help with a high-profile priest who was kidnapped 4 or 5 days ago, and a doctor, very well-known doctor, was kidnapped 2 days ago. And we've been trying to help, even though we ourselves have been victims, as you know. We're all in the same basket. We're all suffering the same shocks from the reality of gang violence. But in any case, one of the cases about these 2 young girls, you can imagine how concerned is the family that adolescent girls are in the hands of these criminals. And we, in fact, had an attempt to release them on the 23rd, but it failed. I think I should define for you very emphatically what help means when we're asked to help. It's not in any way, shape, or form that we're paying ransom for a family or paying ransom on behalf of an institution. What it means is the family or the institution and their negotiator are not proceeding for some reason, and they're not being able to get the ransom down from some fantastic level to something that is at least affordable. And also it's taking so long. So the advantage is we're able to get in the face of the big bandits. We can have face-to-face dialogue with them. We have the ability, only because our many years of frontline work has made us know who they are and also given us credibility with them. And so we have the chance to speak. So this is what the help is. The help is to speak directly with them, which is always dangerous for us because police don't like it, brigades don't like it. They suspect you, that you even have access to these people. And now that the Trump-Rubio administration has rightly labeled the gangs as international terrorists, it raises eyebrows even at their level that somebody, especially an American, can be in the face of these people and talking with them. So it's dangerous for us, but we do it because we can and because it's helpful. So we had tried the other day to release these 2 girls, and it didn't work. It was in fact the 23rd. It was in fact the 23rd, and we're understanding now the reasons, and we're addressing now the reasons so that the family will not have lost their ransom, and so that these girls will be released soon. So this was another big factor aside from the Category 5 hurricane. Let's say the Category 5 emotional reaction of the mother when I told her I would be traveling for a few days, and she was so forlorn to think that her only safety net or her only rock of Gibraltar was going to be gone, and her girls in the hands of those people for more time. So when we can speak directly with the bandit leaders, we can find out what is the holdup, why aren't they advancing. A good example was with Gina, when Gina was kidnapped in August with the other 9 total. The gangs were convinced that Gina, because she's Irish, is tied to the Digicel mobile phone empire, and that Gina. So we needed to convince the gangs that Gina has nothing to do with the Digicel phone mobile phone empire, that Gina's family raised sheep in Ireland, and that she's a very modest living worker for an NGO in Port-au-Prince. So it's the kind of things that that we can do. You might wonder why it needs to be done, but why don't people know this already? But the fact of the matter is there are over 400 identifiable gangs in Port-au-Prince, and they don't all know you. And you sometimes need the bigger fish to bite on the smaller fish in order to get your message across. So in any case, this was also one of the reasons why I wasn't able to travel today in order to come to Boise for the 29th. But the long and the short of it is I really, really regret not being with you on the October the 29th. I think I've expressed well what our problems are and our determination and optimism in the face of the problems. And I would have liked to have been present to thank you personally once again for now over a quarter of a century of being with us in friendship, in prayer, in solidarity, and especially in financing a lot of these dreams that we have to bring very quality care to some of the most forlorn people on planet Earth and in our human family. So I hope the evening is enjoyable. I thank you again wholeheartedly. I ask God to bless you and all of your families. And I do hope to come to Boise within a month when all these problems settle down, and hope to see some of you at least informally, or maybe all of you informally. So thank you once again, and God bless you.